So 10 months ago, I made a video talking about this new Augment Anvil shells. It was effectively Sledgehammer, but exotic rarity. So I called it by far one of the worst augments in Tanki Online. Then 3 months ago, I made another video revisiting it, and I think it was clear that it was definitely keeping that title. But only a few days ago, it actually got buffed a little bit. So it used to do no crit damage, but now it actually has a chance to do crit damage, which was one of the main reasons it sucked, because let's be honest, crit damage is one of the main factors in this game nowadays, whether you like it or not. If you're not having crit damage on your turret, it's almost impossible to do well. Now 1300 damage a shot is really good close range like this. Previously, honestly, without critical damage, averaging maybe 400 damage a shot, it was bad. Alright, come on, really? Why are there just mines everywhere now? People with minor augment are so annoying to go against, it's just ridiculous. So if you look at anvil shells now, your regular damage increase is only 35%. But remember, that was the main drawing factor, is you did an additional 35% more damage at close range, but then you didn't have any crit damage. The damage at normal ranges was terrible. You had to be super close to the enemies to even get that 35% damage increase. But now you can be a little bit further away and still do a decent amount of damage. You now get critical damage and the projectile speed is fast. So whereas this used to be probably one of the worst augments in Tanki Online, it was definitely the worst thunder augment. It's actually pretty usable now. I've used it one game before this just to test if it's actually good now. And honestly, it may be a contender for one of the better augments for thunder you should be using. Now, let's be honest, most of us are using vacuum or adaptive reload because those are just, you can't beat those augments right now. Some of the better augments for thunder now, honestly, in general, I'm not really using thunder all that much, just because, let's be honest, at the end of the day, it doesn't do that much damage unless you get a really good map for vacuum, or somehow the enemies are just getting really close when you're using adaptive reload. So 1300 damage at this range was impossible with the old version, but now you can actually do decent damage at medium ranges, whereas before it was buffed. Good luck doing any good damage at close ranges. So 3000 damage shot, that's really good. At this range, it would be really low, but now I'm doing 1300 damage a shot at medium ranges. And again, before this thing got buffed, medium ranges were basically impossible to play at with this augment. You had to be super close, but again, if you're super close, you have splash damage. It just wasn't a good augment. Now, it's pretty good. Tanki finally made it worthwhile of the exotic rarity. Why Tanki ever thought this was worth an exotic rarity when it was one of the worst augments in the game is beyond me. But now it may be worth that exotic rarity. I honestly don't think any augments in general should be exotic unless they are genuinely one of the best augments in the game. The exotic rarity is kind of just given to everything these days, especially whole augments, man. All whole augments should be legendary rarity in normal containers. I don't think whole augments should go in exotic containers because it's just taking up space for other items a lot of people would rather have. But it's pretty fun using thunder again. Like I said, I just don't use thunder all that often because at the end of the day, I'm just not a huge fan of the lower damage it does. 2700 up close there. But in general, thunder, the damage per second is pretty low compared to other turrets you can be using, especially like Scorpion, where your average shot damage is really high compared to thunder. Okay, come on, don't lose my double damage. Oh, I need a crit hit. Oh, I got double teamed. So you look at the overall stats of anvil shells, and honestly, now it's pretty good. One of the disadvantages used to be no critical damage, which was the biggest letdown of this augment. But now your regular damage is increased by 35%, critical damage increased by 10%, and your critical splash radius is 12 meters. So you're doing a lot of splash damage on critical hits. And now they also helped it where you do more damage at longer ranges instead of how it used to be, where good luck doing any damage past super close ranges. So honestly, now overall, really good augment. 35% increased damage. That's a really good stat to have. Now, obviously, the big downside, don't be using this augment in big maps. I'm not a huge big map enjoyer to begin with, so I usually leave big maps just because I'm not going to stay in a map I'm not really enjoying. But honestly, now I'm probably going to be using this augment a lot. I think adaptive reload might be a little bit better just in terms of the amount of players in every single game. Splash damage shots and reloading super fast will be really nice. But it's definitely a contender for one of the more usable augments now in the game. All right, this is a pretty good map for thunder. It's pretty small overall. What augment is this guy using? I wish you could still press V again. You guys remember when you would press V to see people's protections? Man, those were old days of Tanki. I wish you could still do that to see what augments they're using. It's nice seeing what protections they have automatically, but you know, sometimes the less shown, the better. It's just been so long since you've had to press V to see what people are using. I missed that portion just a little bit, but obviously I'm going to be reminiscent of Flash a little bit. Overall, though, I'd honestly say before this whole augment got buffed, it was probably a solid 2 out of 10 maybe. It was terrible. But now, I got it. I think a 7.5 is a fair rating for this augment. It's pretty good now. I definitely have to give Tanki props for saying that it really needed a buff, especially being an exotic augment. You can't have an exotic augment be that freaking bad. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Don't forget to use the creator tag Taspens. See you in a future video. Peace out.